Alright, this is my camera bag. Right, so I've chosen to put the equipment which I carry into 3 different categories. Now first of all, we have the category of cameras, which is the basic equipment. I have a category called the essentials, which are things that I have to carry with me for the cameras to even work. And then I have utilities or extras, whatever you could call it, just small things which I personally like carrying around and that I would really recommend you carrying with you as well. And then there will be some odd things which are not exactly in my bag, but things that I always carry with me. Right, so the first category, cameras. The basic essential gear for any camera bag. Now I carry with me 3 different cameras. I've found that these 3 are really the essential for any shoot. I will use the cinema camera for the shoot itself, for cinematic 4K raw shots and stuff like that. The action camera, of course, if I'm going underwater or doing something which could potentially harm this Blackmagic lovely camera, or if the camera is just too big to fit in somewhere and I can use my GoPro instead. And then of course I do have my DSLR camera. This is my backup camera most of the time. If this runs out of power or something else goes wrong, I will always have this to shoot with instead. Now also this is a very nice camera to grab some stills with, which is also a nice thing to do when traveling or anything like that. If you come by a beautiful spot, you do want to grab some stills. I carry this 50 to 200mm lens. This is a zoom lens from Sigma. Now my primary lens is this 18 to 35mm lens. Now aperture wise it's not the best lens, and also it is not a cinema lens, so meaning that when you zoom the focus will change, and also the focus ring itself moves when you use it, so it's not made for cinematic footage. But I really love this kit lens. I guess it is a kit lens for this Sony A58 camera. Now these are actually the only 2 lenses I carry with me, meaning that if I want to shoot on the Blackmagic camera, as these fit my Sony camera, I guess these are Sony A mounts, and this is a M4/3 MFT mount. These obviously does not fit on this camera, and also I can't of course use a zoom lens on both at the same time, nor the kit lens on both of them at the same time. So I carry also with me this lens converter things from K&F Concept. Now as you see here, it is a MAF to M4/3 converter, meaning that it can go on this Blackmagic camera, and then I can mount this on top. So I specifically bought this converter because it has this iris ring to change the iris or the I'm kind of changing how much light these lenses let in. Now as I say, all of this combined makes for a really nice kit. It's a lot of variations. Now moving into the essentials, I carry of course batteries for my cameras and also some microphones and sound gear. So I carry with me a Rode video mic. It is a shotgun mic, mainly used on my DSLR camera or on like a boom pole and stuff like that. Now the thing I really love about this microphone is that it has a lot of different options for different situations, and that's also why it's actually quite good on the go. It's a bit big for most cameras and it doesn't really fit on my Blackmagic, as that does not have a hot shoe. So I will need a rig to put that on there, but it's really nice for my DSLR camera. First of all, it has the 80 Hz function if you're shooting next to a road or something like that. And also inside it has different sensitivity customizations. Now as I say, I also carry a lavalier mic. This is a Boya lavalier mic. I usually just record the sound on my phone and just plug this mic in the phone and put it on the cloth. It's a really nice little mic to have in a lot of different situations. I sometimes also just use it as a normal mic and not even on the clothes, but I found that it's a really nice mic for a lot of things, so yeah, I just use it whenever I can. This little box carries, well, everything important from a shoot. This is my SD card holder, whoops. Currently I have an 8 GB card, which is for just a little backup for mostly my vlogging camera or for a zoom, if I'm a shoot where they have a zoom. Because 8 GB is basically nothing when shooting like 4K footage and stuff like that. Then I carry two 64 GB slots right here. These are micro SD cards for GoPro, and also it's nice to have just an extra SD card if I run out of space. And then I carry 228 GB SD cards, one for the Blackmagic, which is a bit faster reading and writing speed, and then a 128 GB for the camera I am using right now. It's a lot of money to spend on a box like this, but it's actually coming in really handy, believe it or not. Now I carry two sets of batteries with me, well actually three, but two main sets of batteries. I carry some NP FM500H batteries. These are Sony batteries for my DSLR camera, and then I carry two LPE6 battery packs for the Blackmagic camera. And then I also carry these 9V batteries. These are for my Rode mic. If that should ever run out, I will have an extra pair in my bag. And then obviously I carry this, which is the charger for the Sony batteries, and also of course the cord for this to plug into the wall. And then I also carry this, which is the power cord for the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. Now let's start out over here. This is a selfie stick, or like a pole for my GoPro, which can be extended a lot and used to submerge the camera underwater. I've actually got this footage from a coral reef in Thailand. And this is a little space in the coral reef where I would not fit my hand into, so this came in really handy to like submerge the GoPro underwater. Now I also carry this little thing. There's not much to say about it. It is for if you want to put a mic on like a boom pole or something like that. It actually comes in handy for a lot of things. Also carry this little LED light. It has this front panel light, and then it has this little flashlight-ish thing. Now the CRI on this is not very good, and it's a maximum of 200 lumen. But I mean, it's a really handy thing to have, and it can move like this, and it's got a magnet down here so it can stick on metal stuff and stuff like that. And I just find it really handy in a lot of situations where you just need a little bit extra light or something like that. And then of course I carry this little fellow with me. This is a USB plug with an SD card reader, both SD and micro SD, for just plugging the SD cards into my laptop and offloading some of the footage. Now over here is something which any filmmaker should carry in their bag. First of all, we have these little clamps, which are nice for everything, literally everything. And now I carry this little kit with me, an Allen key kit. I actually bought this in Thailand because I was in a situation where I needed Allen keys and I didn't have any, so these came in handy then, and they have come in handy ever since. And then I also carry this little, just a normal screwdriver, just a little screwdriver that fits in the back. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I also do carry some things outside of the camera bag. Now first of all, I'm going to cover this rig. This is a newer rig. It's a very customizable rig, very compact for my Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera, and that is because the Pocket Cinema camera does not have a stabilizer on board. So the more movement you can put away from the camera, like on these handles instead of holding the camera directly, makes it all the more stabilized. I also do have a 3-axis gimbal stabilizer, one of those big rigs. It's not nice to have on the go because it's very heavy and it's for the bigger shoots. Now this also have this little focus ring, so it's follow focus easier to use the camera's focus like that, or the lens's focus. But again, this is something I only carry if I know I'm going to shoot with the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera. But besides that giant rig, a thing that I always carry with me is my beautiful little laptop computer. Now this is an HP Envy X360, I believe. I actually just bought this computer a few weeks ago, and it has turned out to be absolutely magnificent. It's around $1,000, I believe. And the cool thing about this is actually that it's a fully flippable touch screen, so it can act as a tablet for watching movies and stuff like that. Yeah, it's a very nice computer, and it's very lightweight, very handy. It actually does fit in my camera bag, but usually I carry it with me in another bag. But if I'm going on a shoot where only I'm able to carry my backpack and my camera bag, I will of course be putting this in the camera bag because it's nice for offloading footage and also editing on the go. As I was thinking on buying a Chromebook, but then I realized I could buy this computer instead, which have the possibility of using Photoshop, Premiere Pro and After Effects on it. Of course not for editing hardcore 4K raw Blackmagic footage, but for the usual bits like HD and 4K without the raw, it can handle that. And I think that's about covers it for this video. That is everything I carry in my camera bag for any shoot on the go. Now I will be covering some of the things in more detail in other videos, like having a review of my Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera. But I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you want to see more like this on the channel, we could go through my gear cage with light stands and everything like that, tripod, so on and so forth. Please go hit that like and subscribe button and leave a comment if you, of course, really loved and want more of this. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Oh, I still have to fucking... Oh, shit.